Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury. I'm Drury, that's Clarkey. We're brought to you, as always, by our friends at Coolbet Canada, the Listowel Squash Courts, See the Game, and Listowel Vision Care, and, of course, by Hanover Raceway. Don't miss all the excitement of live harness racing every Saturday from June 4th to September 17th. Post time always at 1:30 p.m. Bring the family and come have a great time enjoying the sights and sounds. We bet you'll love it. Visit them at hanoverraceway.com for details on their upcoming events. All right. Clarkey, I just got back from day one of the PGHL Schmaltz Cup tournament. I had an overtime game myself to call as Stainer ended up coming out on top of the Grimsby Peach Kings 3-2 in overtime. All the while I was doing that, as we give you a sleepy edition here, we're recording this midnight Friday morning. The Maple Leafs got tangled up in an overtime game as well, falling 4-3 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who force a Game 7 on Saturday night. Clarkey, you're decked out in all your regalia. You were watching at a friend's house. Break this down for me. Of course, I did not see the game. I just saw the goals and the highlights when I got home. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling like two things. They're jinxed. They're never going to win. And the league's against them. There's no question in my mind. It's unbelievable. The call that was made tonight reminded me back to Doug Gilmour time and how the referees in a one-goal game in Game 6 of a series can call a phantom high stick is beyond me. That guy should not referee another game this playoff, like until the final, like at all. He should not do it. If you don't see a stick hitting a guy in the face, you can't call it. You can't call it. Like, you have to see the stick hit the guy's face. Like, you just can't make it up. You can't say, oh, I think that hit his face. And foot. Oh, foot. Foot should be suspended. They got to start handing out suspensions for soccer-like plays. Oh, it hit me in the face. Oh, Like,
you're referring to Cal Foot.
Yeah, Foot. I said Foot.
Yeah, Cal Foot. Yeah, like, of the Tampa Bay Lightning. That
shit has got to stop in this National Hockey League. Like, they're getting away with it. So why wouldn't they just keep doing it? And that's what happens in soccer. Like, there's got to be someone upstairs who can see this and call it, because you can't have it happen.
Clarkey's upset. Yeah, I'm coming from this at a disadvantage because, unfortunately, due to my work covering the PGHL final tournament, I didn't get to watch the game.
Hey, hold on. Adam's got the play. Have you seen it?
I've seen the
roll it, Adam.
Question.
Let's roll this high stick.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Small here, but
I've seen this.
Like, it hits his underarm and like missed his face by a foot.
Now again, Cal Inches, they should call him. I saw that, and there was a 5-on-3 that ensued off two high sticking minors within 16 seconds of each other. Within 16 seconds of each other, the Leafs were up 3-2 in the third at that point. Now I don't wish to anger you further. I read on Twitter that the TNT crew had another angle that wasn't that one that showed it, that it did hit him in the face. I don't know if that's true because I haven't seen that.
Well, I don't know.
But that's what I saw people on Twitter and reporters tweeting that there was an angle where the stick hit him in the face.
If that's the case, I take it all back. But that angle right there was pretty darn clear that it didn't touch his face. So.
The other bad one that people are referring to that I'm sure you were eventually going to get to was Killorn.
Oh, yeah. Adam's got that too.
You know, horse riding Austin Matthews.
Yep.
Which...
Watch this.
This is very bizarre to me that this isn't called. But look, this is look at this. This is really bizarre. He's flying him like a
holding
kite.
His jersey for more than 5 seconds. No call. No call whatsoever.
I don't understand how that isn't called.
It is called. But the NHL wants as much revenue as they can get. A Game 7 in Toronto will make lots of revenue for a league who's missed a lot of time for COVID. So you know what? Let's look at that freeze frame, right? That last.
Yeah, he's pulling his jersey.
Not only that, look at the ref right there, 5 feet away.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything. It's okay. It's Toronto. They're just whiners and sucks up there. They'll complain about anything. And the worst part, Ryan, is they let them play hockey tonight. Leafs had one power play. One. And then they call the Kerfoot one.
Are you referring to the Kerfoot, the first high stick?
On Hedman.
Okay, yeah.
Hedman lifts Kerfoot's stick up. And Kerfoot's stick rides up and goes under his chin.
Yep. Yeah. I saw that as well. By the letter of the law, it's a penalty. You know, stick infractions are, you just don't know. And that, I think that's the biggest issue that anybody would say about NHL officiating is we just don't know. Right. And I know there were some whispers about a goalie interference thing too on one of the goals.
Well, their goal, the one goal they scored, I can't remember. Corey Perry, it looked like it was the 5-on-3 goal. It looked like Corey Perry interfered with Jack's stick, but they're not going to call that. And you can't challenge it. What if you get
you can challenge?
You can challenge it. But what I'm saying is,
they didn't want to because
they're still shorthanded. If you're 5-on-3, and now you're going to be 5-on-3 if they don't. So it's like, I don't know, man.
That one was the least egregious one for me. I saw the top down angle of it being shared on Twitter. I didn't think it was goalie interference. I'll say that simply because I watched the Florida Panthers score an overtime winner against my Capitals the other night, where a guy was fully standing in the crease. But they're not going to call back an overtime winning goal. We don't do that. Ask Buffalo Sabres fans about calling back overtime winners. So
no. But you know what? Unfortunately, Justin Hall knocked it into his own net. Now, like all the Justin Hall haters are
on the game
winner. Yeah, it was dribbling behind Bunting. It looked like if Hall wasn't there, Bunting was going to stop it. But Bunting and Hall's stick sort of both hit the puck at the same time, and Hall knocked it into his own net. So all the Hall haters, Hall had a great game. The Leafs played well. The Leafs outplayed them, I thought.
That was the consensus that I was reading. And it sounded like in an overtime, they outshot them 9-2.
Yeah, oh no, they were. But you know what?
And
sometimes you just know in overtime, when you're watching overtime, a lot of times the team with the momentum loses the game for some reason. Like it just seems to happen that you're up 9-2 in shots, everything's going well, then boom, right?
It does feel that way for sure. It's odd how often in hockey that seems to, be the prevalent feeling. Here's really at the end of the day, what it boils down to for me though is, I saw immediately, social media, Leafs vitriol toward the officials, whether you want to argue that and have it, be part of your argument for why they lost this game. That's fair game. I'm not going to tell you to not feel aggrieved about NHL officiating, which we all know, unlike Gary Batman tells us, is the worst in professional sports. And it's the worst because it's the most inconsistent. Yeah, there's a lot of rumbling right now about baseball umpires. I mean, it's the same action happening over and over. Do they make bad ball and strike calls? Yeah, they do. NHL officiating, the rhythm of it completely befuddles me, because you said, and I, was reading about it on Twitter as well, that for the most part tonight, they let them play. There were a lot of calls that were let go both ways. And that's not the way that the first 5 games were called. There were penalties every 4 minutes on average, I believe. Like, game 5 and everybody, sure. Jeff O'Neill, everybody covering the Leafs complaining about the flow of the games in the series. Too many penalties, which is funny to me because like we all complain a ton about not enough calls in the playoffs. Now there's too many penalties, but tonight
Well, it's because we complain. That's why, because we complain. The NHL has to prove their point. You see, that they have no clue what they're doing. They really don't. Did you see the Trouba hit on Crosby? What did you think of that?
Well, he should have been suspended. And again,
absolutely. No penalty, no hearing.
Of
course, he's a Ranger. The New York Rangers play in where Gary Bettman lives. They're not going to get a call.
Well, the Rangers are losing that series, to be fair.
Yeah, they are, but they didn't lose it. And as soon as Crosby went out of the game, it changed around. So, and whatever.
Yeah, I understand why fans have this conspiracy theory notion, because when it's your team, and I did it for years. I will still argue up and down for the rest of my life that the call that Evgeny Malkin drew in Game 5 of the 2009 semifinal when the Caps were playing them was a phantom slash that never happened. Mm-hmm. And they won that game. The Caps were up 3-1 in that series. Pittsburgh went on to win the Stanley Cup, didn't they? And that's kind of my point at the end of this, though, is that we can look at tonight and go, the officiating was bad. This and that. The Leafs still outplayed them. They still outchanced them in overtime, and they still lost. This team in the Matthews-Marner era are 0-8 in elimination games where they could potentially move on. They're 0-8 after tonight.
Yep, they are.
And
after Saturday.
Well, let's relax for a second here. I had the Leafs in 7. I had the Leafs in 7. Well, and I understand why you think that. Why would you think they'd win? Based on everything that we've seen this team do, the mental fragility, the go up and down the list. And I saw, because people were tweeting clips out, because he's public enemy number 1 among Leaf fans, Nylander pulling up on pucks 3 different times in overtime where he could have got the puck first and would have had to absorb the hit.
Good. He was not good.
And
Mitch Marner was too cute and fancy all night long.
But he wasn't too cute and fancy before tonight.
No, I know. So why change? What's been successful? I don't get it, Ryan. I don't get it. He had so many opportunities to shoot the puck. Last game in Toronto, the fans were chanting, "Shoot the puck, shoot the puck." I've never heard that. Is Thomas Caberlet like underneath every jersey now? Like, what is going on? Like, they don't shoot the puck, and they had golden opportunities in overtime to shoot the puck. And they're not shooting it. And Mitch leads the way. Shoot the puck. Just shoot it. Look what happened when Tampa scored. They just threw the puck at the net, and it went in. Why can't the Leafs figure that out?
Oh. Yeah, it's one of those things where in overtime, it's usually not a pretty goal. I mean, the overtime game I called tonight wasn't pretty. It was a bad turnover behind the net, thrown quickly out front and slammed right on goal, and it went 5-hole and in. Yeah. It's odd how that happens. I mean, my favorite, the most innocuous goal I've still ever seen, Lars Eller's right ass cheek in Game 3 against Columbus when the Caps went on their run. I mean, Panarin hit the bar 2 minutes before that. I'll never forget that. Like, the Caps are down 3 Cobb if that goes in. No Stanley Cup. But the bounces are awful funny, aren't they, in this game? But really, though, again, we can sit here, and again, I'm at a disadvantage here. I didn't see the game. You're obviously fired up, very angry, rightly so. And I understand why it's at another level with you because of what this team has done. They haven't won a playoff series since 2004, 0-8 with this core in elimination games where the Leafs could potentially move on. Will they change that to 1-8 on Saturday? And again, we can sit here and complain about officiating for any team that's ever played a playoff game in NHL history. And I'd be willing to go, oh, the Leafs lost this time because this one time. But it's been 5 years of this now where this team can't figure it out. And the consensus, well, we're willing to give them the pass for the first 2 because young group, Washington, of course, they should have lost that series. Boston the next year, still young. Okay, yeah, we lost that series. But now the last 3 years, they've had teams on the rope. Boston 3-2. They choke at home. Then in Game 7, the infamous as Leaf fans, some refer to it as the infamous Jake Gardner game.
Yep. That was in Boston, though, right?
Yeah, the game 7.
Yep.
3-1 up on Montreal.
Yep.
Inexcusable.
Yep.
And I've been on a couple shows this week, and I'll say it again here on our show.
I'll tell you one thing, though, but just before you do that.
Yep.
There's no way the Leafs lose it. Again, it's going to be sour grapes. There's no way the Leafs lose if last year's playoffs was officiated like this year's. Montreal's not good enough. Montreal clutched and grabbed and cross-checked their way. I'm telling you, it wouldn't have happened. Anyway, go ahead.
But why? But my point with all this is, why can't the Leafs, with all this high-paid talent, figure out a way to do that themselves?
Yeah, you're right.
If you're so high-paid and you're so high,
right, Ryan. I get it, Ryan. They're jinxed. I told you, they're jinxed.
If I understand, it feels like that. Why wouldn't it feel like that?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, this team is built with 3 extremely highly paid forwards up front, which causes deficiencies toward the lower end of their lineup and their decor.
Yeah, but you know what? They've built this team pretty well. And it's
I'm not saying they haven't.
Kampf, Engvall, Mikheyev, best line tonight. Do you know that?
That's a real problem, though.
No. But what I'm saying is,
no, there's depth there.
I can't say best line. If it's shut down the opposition unbelievably.
Yep.
Kampf has not been on the ice for a goal against all series.
Yeah, but you can't. Unfortunately, you can't play him 23 minutes a night.
No, I know, but I'm just saying they've built that bottom 6 pretty well, and I don't think you can blame them. But when Nylander Nylander misses a pass and doesn't even skate after it to nullify the icing, he's in the lead. And he just floats away. Like,
he doesn't want to get hit.
Like,
doesn't want to get hit.
I know. There's no question about it.
What's it take? I mean, $6.7 million. What's it take? 6.9?
Yeah, right.
7.5. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And to be fair, I think Morgan Riley's been really good in this series.
Their defense, I think, have been, for the most part, outstanding.
I think they have been pretty good. Yeah.
Jack Campbell's outplayed Vasilevsky. One game, maybe not, but for the most part of the series, Vasilevsky's goals save percentage is .880 in the series.
Yeah, well, he's Andre Vasilevsky, though.
Yeah, I know, but the Leafs are beating
and he's won, so it doesn't matter. Well, people in Tampa aren't sitting there going, "Boy, Andre sucks," you know. Mm-hmm. Why should they? Mm-hmm. After the last 2 summers. And
then the worst part is in overtime, Hall gets knocked down, like tripped up. No call, no makeup call, like nothing. Like, and the geniuses on the Sportsnet broadcast even talked about, we'll see a makeup call. And they all said there won't be a makeup call. Not now, not in overtime. And there wasn't. Anyway.
And again,
it's just crazy.
Makeup calls, this bad call, that bad call. Win a damn series.
Dude, I know.
Like, I mean,
hey,
we're all hot.
I know. And it just pisses me off when, like, people in the media think they're mightier than almighty, like the Craig Buttons of the world. Craig Button, like, to me, that guy is a farce. And like, he purposely says things against the Leafs because he worked for them and he doesn't anymore. He says Austin Matthews wasn't in his top 7 for MVP voting. Like, are you like, what are you trying to prove?
I personally like Craig, but I disagree with that take.
It's a loser's mentality to complain about the officiating. You know what?
It is. I agree with that. And that's coming from a guy that rips on refereeing when my team's involved for years and years. It is.
I know,
because just win.
I know, but
bad calls and they win.
I get it, but for the love of God, please stop calling crap that affects the outcome of the game. And that 5-on-3,
you can say that about any penalty ever, though.
An earned penalty is an earned penalty, but a phantom call, if you don't see a high stick hit the guy in the face and the guy fakes it, then, like, anyway, they got to start handing out suspensions or it's going to get more soccer like every time we play. That's all I'm saying. No more fines, because he's going to get fined, right?
I don't think he will. I don't think he will get fined. Why would he get fined?
Like the NHL, there is a fine for embellishment. You do get fined for embellishment.
I'm aware that they're not going to call that on a high stick. I'd be shocked if he was fined. But this whole fining thing in the playoffs here, because like they make it out like, oh, a playoff game is more important than a regular season game, so it's less and everything like that. It depends who the player is, and sometimes, I understand why fans think it depends on the team. I mean, I'll just say it again. It's the old, I'll beat this record to death. If Tom Wilson does something, it's seemingly so much more egregious, even though, the act of another player doing it might just, be as bad, but it's not Tom, right? Like, just as an example, you know what I mean? Or if Brad Marchand does something, it's so much worse than what anybody else would ever potentially do, even though they commit the same act. And you could put the two side by side. And of course, people's reactions are going to be, oh, well, it's way worse because this guy did it. And I understand that, right? You build a reputation. And that's what this is. And what I said, my point I was going to make earlier, when I said I've been on a few shows this week just talking about this, if the Leafs lose, and I know last year the Montreal thing and what an easy path they would have had and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Nothing's easy.
Yep.
This is the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I understand people's take. I understood what people
I know.
From. And they should have beat Montreal.
The choking
and I don't want to hear about all
I know.
And I don't want to hear about Montreal cross-checked them too many times. You should have absolutely railroaded that team. I don't care. Find a way to win.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think Ovechkin ever got cross-checked by Chris Letang and Dubinsky and all these other guys on the way to the check? Yeah, he got cross-checked. And he hit people back. And he scored at big times. Earned his money and came through. Figure it out. And this one will be worse. This will be the worst one. And I know people are going, how can you say it's the worst one if the Leafs end up losing? Which, by the way, again, I do not think they will. They have got to completely forget about the past, like my Capitals did.
Every time they step into a media room, they're asked about their past. They can't forget about it.
They're going to have to. When they step on the ice,
Ryan.
Forget it and go, there's a game here. We were better than them last game and outchanced them in overtime.
And maybe
we can
just
win.
Maybe. I'm
they
using
should.
reverse psychology here. Maybe.
But here's why it's worse. Because they have largely outplayed Tampa for stretches outside of the first two games of this series that they lost, where I thought Tampa was 100% the better team, especially game 4. Game 4, the Leafs that was one of the most embarrassing playoff losses that this group's been put through, in my opinion.
And game 1 was one of the most embarrassing losses for Tampa. It happens. 5-0.
Yeah, but it's not that embarrassing. They're the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion, and they lost game 1.
Still have
yes, it was 5-0. Yeah, it was an embarrassing showing because they're the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. But what do they care? Because now it's game 7 where almost everybody had this series going. And it doesn't matter that Tampa Bay felt a little embarrassed after game 1. Oh, no. Because they have nothing nice to
the Leafs have never trailed in the series. No one's ever won 2 games in a row. Everything's lining up that the Leafs should win the game.
They should win the game, and that's my point. And if they don't, this one will be the worst flop.
Every consecutive one is the worst one. The latest one is the worst one. Yes, they're playing this defending Stanley Cup champs. Yes.
That's why it's the worst one. Because you have been right up to par with them, if not better for, I would say, it would be fair to say that the Leafs have been better 65 to 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Across the 6 games. Game 4 will be the one if they lose, which again, I don't think they will. They have to do it. They got to win here. Enough's enough. I think they'll win. But if they don't, game 4 will be the siren song that everyone looks back on and says,
no,
there was the turning point.
Game 6 would be
because they went
tonight's game would be
because they outplayed them and they were better than them in overtime. In game 4, the Leafs got the wheels beat off them. Call. Okay, fine.
Dude, it doesn't matter if they get the wheels beat off them in game 4.
That's what people will look back and say. Yes, it does. If they lose, it does.
No, it matters if they lose game 7. Game 7 is what matters, not game 4.
But you know
I
what
understand
the
what you're
revisionist
saying.
history is. And this will be the worst one because this is the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the bar of excellence in Stanley Cup playoff play the last 2 seasons. And you're getting paid a ton of money. The guys up front, the core of this team, more than the top guys on Tampa are getting paid. And you can't find a level to get it done and get 4 wins. That's why it'll be the worst one. Not because it's the latest. That's a factor.
I don't want to talk about game 4, whatever. Like,
okay, fine.
How they dominated in game 1 then. Like,
fine. Let's talk about game 1, the first one.
Yeah, 5-0. Leafs dominated. Tampa wasn't in it. Embarrassing. If the Leafs
Tampa Bay won 2 Stanley Cups.
The Leafs, I don't care. What have you done for me lately? It doesn't matter. Dude, it doesn't matter.
It does though, doesn't it? What are we after here? What are we talking about?
Not this year.
No, not this year.
This year that they won 2 Stanley Cups.
Why not? Why doesn't it matter that they've won back-to-back Stanley Cups and Toronto's literally got?
Well, then if it matters and the Leafs beat them that badly in game 1, then the series should have been over after game 1. They should have just handed the Leafs the series then.
Yeah, and that's not how it works. And that's my point. The Leafs
have not blown big
rise to it.
The Leafs have come back from 2 and 3 goal deficits. They've played well, and they need.
So they better win.
I agree with you. They better win.
What are they going to?
I don't know.
Well, if they don't, again, I think it's the worst one yet because,
well, of course,
there were numerous chances now, and it'll be 2 in a row now where they had their back. They had Tampa's back against the wall.
Yeah. Maybe they'll win 6-0 like they did against Ottawa in game 7s. Like maybe they'll just come out and be like, "Okay, here we go."
Well,
who knows?
To be fair, and all due respect to this man, I mean, it was Patrick Lalime in net. It wasn't exactly Andrei Vasilevsky, was it?
Well, he probably had the save percentage as Vasilevsky has this series going into game 7. So,
if my memory
John
serves, Lalime actually ended up playing good,
too, right? John Cooper should just I know he's won back-to-back cups, and I know you're going to say that, but he's got to I don't know. I find him very pompous, and some of the stuff he's been saying, especially personally against Jack Campbell, who is a very fragile mental goaltender. I don't know. I find it garbage.
What is your issue specifically with John Cooper and what
just some of the stuff
Jack
he says?
Campbell?
Like the Leafs haven't earned a victory in the series. He said that they've handled.
Oh, of course he's going to say that.
I know. So just shut up. And then, Jack Campbell, he's given up 7 goals in 2 games, 3.5 goals a game. We'll take that all the time. We have no problem. I just don't like when a coach talks specifically about the deficiencies of a certain player on another team. I don't like it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think many other coaches will say it.
I understand. So. I mean, he's in a better position than any other coach to say those things because he knows how to push the buttons to make.
And Sheldon Keefe might be fired if they lose Saturday night. It wouldn't shock me. We'll see.
He's the one guy involved here, me personally, that I think should actually be safe. I don't know what exactly it is that Keefe is supposed to do to push the buttons further than he has. Like he's done all he can. I'm not saying he hasn't, but
someone's going to be the fall guy, Ryan. You know what's going to happen.
It'll be at the top, and I
don't think Dubas is going anywhere, or Brendan. But
God bless them then, because if they can't do it again and they're not going to make some significant changes, which is what everybody will be screaming for.
Well, it'll be Willie's head.
Willie
will be the top of the list.
He will be the top of the list. And
it's too bad because Tavares had a great game tonight, 2 goals.
Finally.
He had a good game last game too. And
he was not bad. Yeah, he was okay.
Dominated in the face-off circle. He's been a very important guy.
Thank God he's dominating in the face-off circle for $11 million. Thank God. Oh my God. I'm so happy that he's dominating in the face-off circle. Oh my God. That is, pat him on the back. And he will get patted on the back if they win a series and he has another game like he did tonight. But I mean, to say that's why they gotta, and I took them in 7. They gotta win this series. And I think if they do, they're gonna go on a run. I think it will inject so much self-belief and just ecstasy from finally getting something done that they are going to, Toronto's going to erupt and they'll ride that far. I think that I have them going to the conference finals and losing in my playoff bracket, but that would, to even get to the conference finals would be such a massive building block to go, hey, yes, we can go deep with this group. But if they don't, I hate doing this. I think John Tavares is a good guy. I would want him on my team as a player and a teammate. I think he cares more than anybody. But if they lose again, that's another year gone off a guy that's already slowing down a little bit speed-wise. That's never been his game. But it's another year of 11 million where like this elite talk. What are we talking about? He's not elite at basically anything. He's really, really good. That's what he is. He's elite at draws. There's fourth line centers that are elite at draws that win 60% of their draws. Elite at draws. I mean, and again, great. Be elite at draws. You need guys to win faceoffs. But for $11 million, if that's the maximum top end of what you're bringing consistently, and again, he played really well tonight, and I was stoked for him because that guy is wearing it right now. Him and Nylander are getting absolutely kicked in the pills by angry fans, media, whoever. And to some degree, rightly so, more so with Nylander. The pulling up and the not going after loose pucks and not taking hits is absolutely egregious. Tavares, you cannot say that he doesn't try. There's absolutely, I would laugh in anyone's face that tried to tell me, oh, well, Tavares, look at him lazing around it there. That's not true at all. It's just that the issue for the Leafs going forward is that $11 million starts to become more and more burdensome year on year. And that's why this year they gotta win on Saturday. God damn it, they gotta win. And I don't even care. Like, if they, I'm not a fan. I just like, come on. Like, let's get this sorted here. And I don't know what it is. It's the history of the team, long-standing, one of the oldest franchises, original six, that, yeah, contributes to the noise and the cup drought and all of it. It's just, you know, a little bizarre when you step back. Like, there are other teams and players that are franchise players that haven't won a damn thing. Producer Adams producing the show here. The Colorado Avalanche haven't done anything with McKinnon and Landeskog and Rantanen, Makar now, numerous starting goalies. They sputter in the first or second round. They've not done anything. Remember McKinnon's press conference last year when they got put out? He's like, this is my 9th year and we haven't done a damn thing. And he was all pissed off. Like, they've not done anything. Calgary, Connor McDavid, and the Edmonton Oilers, who we're recording this early Friday morning here. I would love to check and see what the score of that game is as we record it, because Edmonton's trying to force a game 7. At least Toronto was in control. Oh my God, it's tied.
They were up 2-0 and they
tied it 2 in the third.
Tied it 2.
So again, and my guys for a real long time, I was flipping tables over. So irately upset. Why can the Capitals not win? Now they finally did. And that's why I have hope where Leaf fans, much like yourself, saying, oh, they've lost, where you guys don't. Because, oh my God, was there a team more maligned than the Caps? Backstrom, Ovechkin, Semin, Green, Varlamov, Holtby, up and down. Fedorov, like good veteran guys coming through every year. Fedorov, Knubel, Jason Arnott that one time. Remember that? Like, can't get it done. The Caps are chokers. They'll never do it. And then they just did. You know, on a team too, where everyone counted them out. That second loss in overtime to Pittsburgh, who won back-to-back cups. Well, Washington's done now. They're losing Justin Williams. They're losing this guy. They're losing that guy. And sometimes just an unexpected team shows up and does something. And I feel right now, and I feel your energy through the computer screen that the Leafs are now not expected to win because of their history. But that's the great thing about that word and the premise of what that is, history. It's behind us. It's in the past. There's always opportunities to change the narrative and move forward. And the Leafs need to do that on Saturday. I think Jack Campbell's been really good. I think Morgan Rielly has been borderline their best player. Mm-hmm. That's just me personally. I know it's easy to look at stats. And Matthews for 4 of the games has been anywhere from pretty good to really, really good. 2 of the games, especially game 4, I thought he was atrocious. But for the most part, the big guys have been there. Marner has had a pretty good series. I think Marner's been pretty good. And you're shaking your head. I disagree. Can we agree he's been way better than last year?
Well,
he's been way better than last year. That's a low bar.
Yeah, it's low.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
But he's been way, way better.
Yeah.
Nylander's been more
it's
at the
hardest
low end.
Trophy to win.
It's the hardest trophy to win in sports.
If it's not their year, as I'm going to put on my tattoo right underneath it, there's always next year. I'm going to put a little script there.
I don't want you to do that because then when they do win, you're going to regret having it there. Unless when they win, you put ... and it was this one. Like, because you're going to have to fix that tattoo because I think they'll win a cup almost because they have to. And again, we're stretching into.
And I agree with you. I think if they get by this, they will catapult themselves
It will be like rocket.
Because when you look at let's talk about the other series because we have like I don't know how much time left, but first of all,
we got like 20 minutes or so, give or take.
You know, the Rangers are proving that Shesterkin probably is the Hart Trophy winner because without him, they're horrendous.
Well, he hasn't played that well in a couple of games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're behind in the series because he hasn't played well and they don't have a good team. But when you have the best goalie in the world,
they have an up and coming
right?
team.
It helps, right? It helps.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's not a detriment.
They had Henrik Lundqvist for a long time. What would you say? Above average, really good? How would you describe King Henry?
Henrik Lundqvist might be the best goalie of his generation.
Okay. And how many cups did they win with him?
They didn't win one.
Zero.
Yeah, because he's
they
one
might do the
player.
same. Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. They have one player that's really good. And
I don't think that's fair.
Who picked Pittsburgh to win this series? Not many. I'm just saying not many people picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had less points in Tampa Bay. Rangers had less points in Toronto. Why are the Leafs playing Tampa and the Rangers playing Pittsburgh? Because it's the way it's set up. And the Leafs have to play the winner of the Florida-Washington series. Is that right? Because you don't reseed.
No, you don't cross back over. Washington wouldn't go back over. So
right. So technically, Toronto will get Florida if Washington blows, leads again in the third period in overtime.
That's what they do. Yeah,
that's all they seem to do. And then Pittsburgh will play Boston or Carolina.
Yeah.
So we have so you could have Boston and Pittsburgh playing in a series in Toronto and Florida, or Tampa and Florida. Makes sense to me.
Oh, Battle of Florida again, boy.
But I'm just saying, Ryan, it's not right.
I would rather them go back to 1-8.
Yeah,
but again,
absolutely, they should.
But again,
but it's the rivalries. This is how we create. Well, Toronto Pittsburgh's pretty close.
Some of the best rivalries back in the day.
Right, rivalries are made with the playoffs.
Yeah,
like who cares?
Detroit, Colorado, good. Woo. Jeez.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
It's a broken league. We've said it many times. It's a broken league. And
there's a lot of things that could be improved.
But Gary thinks it's great, right? There's nothing wrong with it in Gary's because Gary made it the way it is. So he thinks it's great.
Well, of course, Gary thinks it's great. He's getting paid $8.5 million a year.
Oh, yeah. He thinks it's great. So
I would think anything is great making $8.5 million a year.
Absolutely.
For it.
I'm surprised at Boston. Boston didn't seem like they had any interest in the series. Marchand got hot. They forced a game 7. The Blues have eliminated the Wild. I think the Wild were one of your picks to go to the finals or something, but
no, they were my dark horse team.
Okay, they're done. The Oilers with Leon Draisaitl saying, I wouldn't want to play us in the playoffs. They're on the brink of losing to the LA Kings and Todd McClelland. Isn't that funny? Where was Todd McClelland coaching just a couple of years ago? Let me think. Oh, yeah, Edmonton.
They need a goalie really bad.
Yeah, of course they do.
Really bad.
Yeah, they do.
Boston, I mean, you mentioned them just like coming right back on the Hurricanes. It seems like Brad Marchand has done what Brad Marchand does best. Not only has he produced a ton of points, he had a 5-point night the other night.
Yeah.
He's in their heads.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
He's got Tony DeAngelo and all those guys distracted with what he's doing.
And how's Freddie? How's Freddie working out for the Hurricanes?
He's
hurt
again, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's injured. Yeah.
Which is sad because I like Freddie, and I wonder what the series would look like if he was in. Because again, Carolina having to turn to Kochekov, which is
Ranta
it's a tough break. But
Ranta played tonight.
Did he play tonight? Good for him. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, right? There are a lot of
and Darnell Nurse in the Edmonton series with the stupidest move ever.
I can't. And again, that one made me mad again, too, because again, I understand he's got the reputation. He's earned it. He's done dumb stuff. If Tom Wilson did that, it'd be 5 or 6 games, playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that Darnell Nurse got 1 game for that. It's an atrocious suspension.
Yeah.
He headbutted a guy.
I know. It's crazy.
Headbutting?
Yeah, I know.
Good Lord. All right. Is there anything else?
What other series do we have? Anything? We miss any?
I don't think so, unless you want to talk about the ones that resume again tomorrow, where you've got
Calgary and the Stars. The Stars are surprising me as well.
Yeah, it's 3-2 Calgary now, and they better make some hay here because they got some cap problems coming up in the offseason too. They got to re-sign Gaudreau, Kachuk. I mean, there are a lot of guys there. Minnesota. Boy, we talk about like Toronto's cap problems. These guys are getting dinged with cap recapture penalties to the tune of almost $14 million for the Suter and Parise buyouts next year. This is a real missed opportunity for the Wild, who went all in on Marc-Andre Fleury, and they're out in 6 games.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Colorado just absolutely danced all over the graves of the Predators. They were barely involved outside of the game 2-1 where they lost in overtime off of an innocuous bounce that, hey, a really skilled Colorado team took advantage of. We touched on Rangers Pitt. I think the Rangers can come back and win that series, especially if
Crosby's sure they can with Sidney Crosby out after the elbow in the head, of course.
Embarrassing that wasn't a suspension. And then you're looking at my Caps.
Penalty. I'll take a 2-minute penalty. No penalty. No penalty. It's New York.
I as much as I don't think Trouba intended to do that, you hit a guy right in the head.
Yeah.
You hit a guy right in the head, a guy with concussion issues, one of the biggest stars of all time. Yeah. And now he's out.
Having a great series.
Oh, he's having a dynamite series. Sidney Crosby turning the clock back, man. He's unbelievable. Not a surprise to anybody that he's been good. And then you're looking at my Caps and Panthers, and the Caps have been filling their diapers the last 2 games. That series should be over. And the Capitals are, doing they're turning back the clock too to like 2015. But again, I'm able to kind of laugh about it. It makes me mad, but they won a cup. I watched them do it in color television. It was amazing. So I'm able to kind of ease things down a little bit. I'll be mad for a week when they get put out, but then I'm like, well, 2018 was fun. And I hope that happens for Toronto. I really do. I'm not a fan. I'm pulling for your Leafs. I don't want to see you like this again during the rest of the run of the playoffs.
We have to do a show on Saturday night. Just a bonus episode for our YouTube viewers.
I'll let you know how I'm feeling. I'm actually done earlier that day at the PJHL Schmaltz Cup tournament. So that's a doable thing for me. Let's take one quick break here. And when we come back, let's talk just a little bit about the Jays, because I got some things to say there. Yeah, we're doing it.
The Blue Jays suck. Why are we talking about them?
I'll tell you why next here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you as always by our friends at Coolbet Canada, Listowel Squash Courts, See the Game, and Listowel Vision Care. And of course, our friends at Hanover Raceway. Don't miss all the excitement of live harness racing every Saturday, starting June 4th till September 17th, post time, 1:30 p.m. every time. Bring the family. Come have a great time enjoying the sights and sounds. We bet you'll love it. Visit them at hanoverraceway.com for details on their upcoming events.
Just lay off Johnny Tavares for me from now on. Okay, just lay off. Okay. Just lay off.
No.
Go. No, don't.
No. So basically, I want to just quickly touch on the other big story, a lesser story, but developing into something semi-concerning. The Toronto Blue Jays, who are 17-14 as we record this. And I think everybody, still early, I think everybody could agree that's disappointing. This is not what we were all buckling in for. Their pitching is extremely hit and miss when it comes to starters. Manoah has been great again. Kevin Gausman's the best pitcher in baseball right now, in my opinion. Kikuchi, horrific start. Last couple starts, pretty good. Barrios. Jose, what? Hello? You're supposed to be the ace of this staff, and he's gas canning. And his last start against the Yankees, he was pretty okay up until he gives up a giant tank. It's the moments that he gives up bad pitches that are just absolutely creating him. And I mean, the opening day start was an absolute disaster for him. Thank God his teammates bailed him out there. But that's the big problem here, Clarkey. The offense, where is this offense?
Yeah, where is the offense? We talked about it last week.
Bo Bichette is whoa, Bo. Can you call your dad up and get a couple tips or something here? Hacking at everything. This week, he's turned it around a little bit. He's had a pretty okay week at the plate, but Bo, we cannot have a sub 220 average. Teoscar Hernandez, of course, hurt for a bit. He has yet to heat up. I have all the faith in the world that they'll heat up. George Springer's been great. He's been the most consistent hitter they've had so far. Vlad has, he's still batting just shy of 290 right now, and he's going to get back up there. He's in a bit of a rut, and we saw that last year too. I have the utmost faith that he'll turn it around. But right now, it's just we have to say, despite the fact that we all think we know what this team can do and believe they will, disappointing returns so far. They're dead last in baseball, Clarkey, with a batting average with runners in scoring position. Who the hell would have thought? Who would have bet on that with our friends at Coolbet? Who would have bet on that at the start of the year? Last in baseball with runners in scoring position?
Something's wrong, right? Something's wrong. They're pushing too much, or they don't have the right coaching going on. Something's wrong for sure. They're don't look now. They're 6.5 games out of first. They had a good first, few weeks of the season, and it's gone south fast.
The Yankees are
some of the umpiring too. Again with the fishing.
Dude, the umpiring.
The umpire who kicked out the pitcher there the other day.
Jimmy Garcia, in a tie game.
Come on.
Who the hell throws at a guy in a tie game?
On the second pitch to the guy? If you're going to throw at him, first of all, it's going to be the first pitch. And secondly, you're not doing that in a tie game. And they throw him out.
And again, and then the very next inning, you talk about inconsistent officiating in the NHL. The Yankees, I can't remember if it was Chad Green or Johnny Lasagna there, Jonathan Loizaga. They call him Johnny Lasagna, who threw it up high at Bichette's head, and he had to duck out of the way. And then rightly so, the entire Blue Jays bench you got to throw him out. You got to throw him out. And then they kicked Charlie out. And know what? Actually, I like Charlie. I'm into him this year. Not that I wasn't last year. Because
what is with this all the time, talking like this? What is he worried John Boy is gonna
maybe
he's talking like this the whole time, right? You can't see his face moving. Come on, just let me see.
I don't care. I love the fire, and I loved him on the bench the other night, getting fired up, defending his team.
Well, yeah,
something that everybody was like, "Oh, Charlie."
There's been a lot of ejections this year, eh?
Compared to a ton of ejections.
It's the umpiring, but again,
Joe Girardi's got
as they say
now.
though, Ryan, as they say, complaining about the officiating is for losers.
In the grand scheme of things, when you don't succeed, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because you just hit the baseball, which a lot of guys are having trouble doing. I mean, MLB's got a real problem with these damn baseballs, man.
Yeah, what's going on with the baseballs? Like,
dude,
one guy kept throwing everyone out in the game.
All the a lot of the pitchers and a lot of them starters, which you give even more weight to, are saying these balls are garbage. And Garcia, the day after his ejection said, the state of these balls is embarrassing. I can't grip it. That's a problem. And then I see guys with beautiful swings with hard sounding contact, and it's throwing announcers off too, where I'm like, he just crushed that ball 420 feet. No, it died at the warning track.
So Steve Phillips was on TSN radio the other day saying that they definitely have changed how they make a baseball.
They absolutely have.
It's not good. So
they've deadened it, and they're doing this dumb humidor thing where they're trying to keep all the balls pre-game in a humidex, fixed room. Yeah. Oh my God. Just make the juiced ball allegedly problem? Way better.
When I don't remember these problems back in the 80s and 90s. Like, I never heard of complaints with the baseball. They used to rub it with some mud from the bottom of some river. And
in like New Jersey or something. They're still doing that.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're still doing
well, maybe the mud is just contaminated now.
Yeah, the way we're messing the planet up, it probably is. The mud's probably yellow now or something, and it's all slick. Yeah. I don't know. But you know why it wasn't a problem back in the 70s and 80s, Clarkey? Because Major League Baseball didn't own Rawlings, the company that makes the ball, which would give you cause as a logical person, which we've all seen tonight that you're a very logical person, Clarkey.
Thank you.
I'm only teasing you. I feel bad. The Leafs are going to win. We'll throw a prediction out here at the end of the show. It would give you cause, though, to go, hold on just 1 second here. You're a sport built around this little ball. The league itself, make the ball. What's the and the ball sucks?
Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have bought the company then. You're saying they bought Rawlings?
Dude, Major League Baseball owns Rawlings. Yeah. Wow. They bought it. I don't know that they bought the entire company because Rawlings makes other equipment, but they own the baseball production plant.
Okay.
The Rawlings baseball plant.
It up. Go figure. Go figure.
And here's where the conspiracy theorists come out, right? Because the year of the juiced ball, if you want to call it that, was a year where there were a ton of pitchers that were going to hit free agency. And so the prevailing conspiracy theory was, we're going to juice the balls so the pitcher's stats at large are worse, and the owners will have an excuse to pay these guys all less, because they go, well, look at your stats. You gave up 12 more home runs than you did last year.
I wouldn't put it by them.
Right? And now the ball's too dead. Now it's dead ball because there's a bunch of guys that are batters that are going to be hitting free agency, including one Vlad Guerrero Jr. who needs a new deal. So the conspiracy theories, they're out there, man. It's not just us hockey fans. It's prevailing in baseball.
I'm convinced
too.
Everything's fixed, so I'm convinced.
I just want the Leafs to win so that you can escape this cycle of negativity. And on that note, to end the show, let's give Game 7 predictions. You're the resident Leaf fan here. You're the diehard. I will let you give your prediction first. Let's go scoreline, game-winning goal. Mr. Clark.
You're really putting me on the spot here after I said there's no chance that the Maple Leafs will win.
But I know you don't believe that.
Of course I don't. I was just trying a little reverse psychology, saying that they'll lose when every time I think they're going to win, the Leafs are going to win. And it's going to be 4-1. And the winning goal will be scored by Alex Kerfoot. Making up for his huge mistake tonight. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy.
I like that. And I like that you kind of went off the board. That's how it seems to go sometimes. The unheralded guy, not a superstar.
And we have to make a pact right now on the air.
Yeah.
If they win Saturday night, we are going to hook, if they're winning, especially if they're winning with a couple minutes left, We're going to hook up. We're going to record a YouTube special, and you're going to see me reacting at the end of the game. Only if they're winning. If they're winning.
You record that, and
we'll do a Zoom call with 2 minutes left. We'll do a little YouTube show. Even if it's 5 minutes, we have to service our fans.
Okay. We got to service our fans. That's right. We didn't service them enough tonight. This wasn't entertaining at all. All right.
Well, it was for me.
I will say that the Leafs will win 4-2 with an empty netter. The 3-2 game-winning goal will be scored by Morgan Riley.
He's been
my guy. It'll be a clapper from the top of the circle on his offside, and he will walk into one. It'll be a pass from below the goal line, and he will rocket one home and send the Leafs finally to round 2 of the playoffs. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
there's 50 seconds left in this Oilers-Kings game. Like, we should not sign off before at least goes to overtime. 8 seconds. It looks like it's going to go to overtime here as I get updates. So, wow. I got to go turn this on. I know it's 1 a.m, and I'm going to do some gardening in the morning.
I will tell you this. It's not going to overtime.
What?
The Edmonton Oilers are winning 4-2, and that's the final. Look what I have.
You're
behind.
No, I'm not.
It's 4-2.
Look at. What does it say on my app?
I know.
What a great app. What a great app by the NHL.
But mine has loaded.
2-2.
Mine has loaded. Tyson Barrie with the game winner.
What a joke.
And Evander Kane with his 2nd of the game, 7th of the series.
What a joke this app is. This app did that to me the other day with the Leafs game.
So the Oilers are going to game 7 as well on Saturday.
There you go. So 3 game 7s. NHL will be happy. The fix is in.
The fix is in, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you being fixed in on Instigating. You can watch us Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on YouTube Friday nights at 9. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. Follow Clarkey too if you want more of those incredible rants. It's at sports_Clarkey.
I just complain about little things on there. I don't do
little things. Big things coming on
when my
Saturday.
French fries aren't full at McDonald's. It pisses me off.
That makes everybody upset. But you know what? You're going to get a huge box of French fries when the Leafs end up winning game 7 by a score of 4-2. And that's coming up. All right. We appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you download the podcast on all your favorite podcast apps. That's it for Instigating with Clarkey and Drury this week. We'll have a bonus episode for you Saturday if the Leafs win, when the Leafs win, and we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching.
Adios.